Hello guys, welcome back to another book review here on Beyond the Realms, and today I'm going to be reviewing Hausfrau, which is, there we go, it is a book coming out from Random House Publishing on March 24th, and I got this through Random House and NetGalley, and this tells the story of a woman named Anna who is married to a guy named Bruce. He is from Switzerland, and they moved to Switzerland after they're married. And it starts off they're already in Switzerland, they're living there. They have 2 boys and a girl, 3 kids. Anna is a housewife, which Hausfrau, that's what it stands for. Hausfrau stands for German housewife. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, she is a housewife while her husband is a banker. She doesn't have a license. She uses trains to get around everywhere. She has nothing to do to occupy her time. She's very bored, very lonely, very distraught, and obviously has a lot of issues. And the chief one being that she is a cheat. She begins to cheat on her husband. She knows it's wrong. She knows she shouldn't be doing it, but she does it anyway. And she's also seeing a therapist who's trying to help her sort things out. She's not admitted to the therapist what she is doing, and she goes about her day. She at some point she's cheating on her husband with multiple men and trying to get away from doing it eventually. And that's really it's about all I can really say about this story without giving anything away. Now, guys, I'll admit I almost gave up on this book because, at the start it seemed like it was nothing more than a story about a sad, lying, cheating whore. At first I was getting really frustrated with it. I'm like, man, why am I reading this? And then, as I kept reading it, kept trying to give it a chance, I started to like the way the story was disjointed. It was disfigured, like it would be talking about a fair 1 minute, then even in the next paragraph about something going on at home, and then a couple paragraphs later it would go to something else totally, like her meeting with her therapist. Just very disjointed, not just by chapters. I'm talking it'll jump around several times in one chapter. And, at first I didn't know how even that was going to work, but I started to like it because you start to see how the story, it's fragmented and it's disjointed, but everything starts to come together. Like this piece starts fitting with that piece, and I started to like that. And, soon I started to realize that this story is ultimately a character study. At the heart of this story, it is a character study about this really broken down woman. We see several facets of her life through her family, her personal interactions, interactions with her therapist, and then we start to see things that happened to her before the story started of how she got to this point. And like I said, there's times where she's just so broken and just so a sad woman. And it seems like, stories like this about tumultuous relationships between men and women, it's kind of like the in thing to read these days. You got stories, books like Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, the upcoming Remember Me This Way, which I reviewed and really liked, and now you have this one. Now, these books are not, all the same, but there's definitely a common thread amongst them of like just really screwed up people, screwed up relationships. Now, Hausfrau was a very well-written book. It's certainly worth mentioning alongside these other titles I just mentioned in terms of the quality of it. But, it has the same thing like those other books do, where there's nobody to cheer for. It's filled with an antagonist, and there's no protagonist in the story whatsoever. It's hard to find anybody to cheer for. I suppose, it creates a good fictional story, but it's also kind of depressing, too. These stories are not uplifting. And Hausfrau, I will say, one-ups that in that category. It one-ups Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, Remember Me This Way, as far as being a depressing story. This one is definitely the most depressing out of all of those, so take that as you will. And after reading four stories in this this uncategorized subgenre of, fucked up marital drama, I guess you could call it, I don't know for sure if I need to read any more stories like this. I'm not saying I won't, but after this one, it's like, okay, I've read 4 books that are in this vein. I don't know if I need to see any more. But really, this book showcases, what you shouldn't do with your life. If you want to see what you should not do with your life, read this book. I think it's going to probably have a pretty solid audience when it comes out. It's getting good pre-release reviews, and for the most part, I can understand why. The way it was written, the way it was told, I can understand that. But from a morale aspect, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. And the cover is definitely misleading. It looks like a nice, heartwarming story, and it could not be anything further from that. This is a very dark book, for sure. So yeah, Hausfrau, guys, I'm going to give this one, it flipped on me, a 4 out of 5. And like I said, this comes out March 24th, so it will be out very soon, and I expect it to get quite a bit of buzz. So check it out, guys, and I am Jason. Thanks for watching Beyond the Realms. Have a good one. Later.